Hello, Dental A-Team listeners. We are back here with you today. This is Tiffany, because I forget to announce myself, and Miss Kristy. I have Kristy for the long haul today. She's doing a couple of different recordings with me, and I can't wait for them to come out. Actually, Kristy, I have had so much fun, and I think this one, I don't know what order they go out in, so whatever. If you guys have listened to the leadership ones we just did or have not, they're coming. You're going to love them. So, Kristy, thank you for taking this ride with me today and just busting out a ton with me on this beautiful, it's a Thursday morning right now. How are you doing? You holding up over there? You got your water?
Absolutely. It's always, the
Awesome.
day goes by fast when we're doing this. I love it.
Yeah, me too. I really do. I do love it, and I love when we hear from listeners. I love when we get, we get to go through the reviews below and see what people loved. Or I know a lot of people will leave like info of their own, that there's suggestions, I should say, and it's just a lot of fun. Always hearing from it, and I love hearing from my clients when they've listened to one. So I agree, the podcast is fun, and it's like a collaboration time for us. So I enjoy it. Now, this podcast topic, the subject, is something I really, really love. I was talking, actually, it's on marketing, guys. So don't fret. I think you already saw the title, but it's on marketing. I joined a marketing call yesterday with a client, and it was a marketer I've not worked with before, and she was fantastic, and she was very collaborative. It was great, but she was like, "Is this something you guys do? You guys work, like, you do marketing for them?" And I was like, "Oh, no. Let's not get wild here. Like, I don't do marketing, but I love it. And I know my consultant team loves marketing, and internal is our jam. And we are really, really solid at that, but really finding different ways that we can leverage our skills to show patients and potential patients that this is the right place for them, I think is something that consultants on our team are really fantastic at. And I wanted to dive into some of that with you today, Kristy, is really just like how to just innovate a brand. And the most fun part about this for me in today's market is that I don't think that dentistry has always been in a space of total innovation. I think dentistry has always kind of innovated, like, oh my gosh, like, can we just talk about how long we've been using the same stuff for like root canals, right? Or whatever, like, come on, right? But there is a lot of innovation in like filling materials and scans and x-rays, CBCT scans, all of these different modalities, in-house crowns, like Botox, lip fillers. I've got practices that are doing facial aesthetics, having estheticians in the office. We do have a lot of innovation when it comes to that space, but something I think is truly innovating within the last few years is the understanding of a dental practice and a dentist needing to have a brand. I don't think marketing has been easy in the dental world. I don't think it's been understood, and I don't think it's been super effective, if I'm honest. And the idea of innovating is really cool to me. I love innovation. That's one of our, I don't think it's innovate. It used to be innovate or die, a core value of ours, like I hated that. But innovate is just something that we live by at the Dental A team. We're constantly looking for, okay, well, that didn't get us the result we wanted. Let's do something different. Like, let's try this. And changing things, and marketing allows for that in so many really cool ways, but really looking at it and saying, what's my brand? Who am I? Like, how is my practice showing up in our community is something that I don't think that, Kristy, we've really ever spent a lot of time diving into within the dental world. And I think it's starting to come up. But what are you seeing, Kristy? Even with the practices you're working with today, do you see a lot of practices really thinking, what's my brand?
Yeah, no, I think we are still behind the time in that regard. For most other industries, they've kind of dialed this in. It's definitely an area I believe that we can do better. I mean, obviously I just moved from Idaho, and there's like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 dentists on every corner almost. Do you think
Literally.
I'm exaggerating? But finding out, and brand again can be such a broad word, but to simplify it, I just ask doctors, what's your purpose? What's your niche? What do you want to be known for? Start asking yourself some of those questions to identify and set yourself apart. Like, here's the thing. Dentistry, it goes back to what you said, Tiff. We only offer so many things. And so, how do we put ourselves apart? Like, why do they want a filling from you
Yeah.
versus your three neighbors next door?
Yep.
Right.
I
So,
totally agree.
yeah, again, one of those words, brand, it's like it's so
Yeah.
broad. So narrow it down. What do you want to be known for? What's your purpose and what's your niche? And if you've been in dentistry for a while and you still haven't done this, go look at your reviews right now and start highlighting some common words. If
Yeah.
if they're saying friendly or I don't know, nice, kind, whatever it is, start highlighting them and see, does that fit you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you could throw that into ChatGPT. You could say, ChatGPT, go look at my reviews and find commonalities.
There you go.
Innovation, guys. Innovation. 2025, ChatGPT. That's our best friend. No, I totally agree with you. And you said a few things there that I just totally resonate with, and it made me think of a client, actually a conversation I had with my financial advisor boyfriend, who is just like, he works with a few dentists here locally in Arizona in Phoenix, and he asks me a lot of questions, and he's like, how is this possible? And I'm like, he sees the profit and he sees the things that dentists are able to achieve and what they're able to achieve for their team members, and being able to see like how like they're the 401ks, and there's the different things that they're able to do, and he's not seen that in another industry, right? Through the work that he's done, at least. And a conversation we had was, we were talking about a cosmetic practice, and he I think I upset him, if I'm honest with you. We were
Oh,
just at the gym, right? And he's just like, I just don't understand how it's possible that one, because I said, I don't know, it could be, for this specific cosmetic dentist, it's probably $2,500 a veneer. Okay. Pretty average, honestly, for a cosmetic dentist, like 2,500 a veneer. And his mind was blown, right? Because he's looking at like cosmetic procedures at a plastic surgeon, right? Like, you can get minor cosmetic procedures for similar amounts of money on your physical body, right? And not just one single tooth. And I said, well, while I understand where you're coming from, like, let me tell you the hours it takes to do a cause, like what it actually takes and what a lab cost of one of those crowns could be, et cetera, et cetera. But long story short, he just was mind blown and was just like, that is wild. And I thought to myself, this is it. Like, this is the marketing and the branding, because you do have to set yourself apart, and you have to reach the people that want to be reached by you, right? My boyfriend, I love him to death. He's not a cosmetic dentist avatar. He's not their dream, right? Because you're going to be convincing him. Like, nobody wants that. Like, if you want that number 9 implant crown replaced by a dentist who's going to make it look 100,000 times better than it does right now, honey, it's you're going to pay money for that, right? But if you're not concerned about it, then you're not going to care, right, who you go to. So my conversation with him yesterday made me really, really think how important it is for practices to understand their brand and their avatar patient. So, what is it that you want to do? And within the capabilities of your surroundings, I think is a good statement. I have practices that are like, I want to do cosmetic dentistry. And I'm like, well, you're in a, like this, you've got 20 miles around you of Medicaid. Like, that's not, people aren't coming here for that. So we've got to move your practice or change your avatar, right? So within the confinements of where you're at, of course, but what is it that you want to provide? And then who are you providing it to? And Kristy, I think one piece that's missed in the like branding conversation, when we all want to be like, I want to do this, right? I want to, but it's like, okay, is that avatar here? So then looking at what your patient avatar, who's your patient avatar? Who is the person you're speaking to? And then what do they need? Right? In our company, Kira and I love nothing more than to brainstorm and innovate. Like, we want to innovate. We want to change the world, right? And we get on these tangents, And then thank goodness we have like Britt and Shelby on these calls with us, because they're like, okay, cool guys, this sounds like an awesome product. It sounds like something that is going to be really cool and that you will love doing. Does it speak to our clients' needs? And we're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like we can innovate and we can do all of these cool things, but are we meeting a need of the people who need us, right? Of our client avatar. We know who we want to work with. Are we just creating to create, or are we creating something that meets a need of that avatar, of the person that we want to work with? And if it does, then fantastic. Then let's move forward. And so I think with the branding conversation, we're speaking to those needs. So who are we looking to work with? Who do we want to inspire to have better dental health? And then what are their needs, and how can we show up and speak to that? Where our brand, Kristy, tell me if I'm totally off here, but or add to it as well. I think our brand really is how we're showing up to speak to those needs, right? And how we're showing up in a way that those people who need those things find us, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And to your point, I know people almost have a adverse reaction when we say buying dentistry or selling
Yeah.
dentistry, but in the big scheme of things, guys, we are selling dentistry. So what are they looking to buy? And it's usually they're not coming in saying I want to buy a root canal, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
buying health, or they're buying something it's going to give them. And so I think sometimes we miss the mark
Mhm.
by speaking our language instead of the language they're looking for, right?
Totally agree. I remember one of the first like all on four over dentures, whatever that we did in my practice. I was like, oh my gosh, I get it, because the guy bought because he was like, I just want to eat a steak again. And I
Hmm.
was like, that is brilliant. So that became our brand of our all on fours, like eat a steak again, because it fit our target audience, our avatar, and our demographic. We knew the area that we were in had that need, and those were the patients that we wanted. And so we took that as a brand of our practice, and we were like, do you want to eat steak again? So it's like that. Now we're speaking to their need instead of selling a denture, right? Like people might call the denture places, right? And I'm not talking prosthodontist, I'm talking about these big, you guys have seen the commercials. They might, those are not your avatar. Those patients are not the patients that you want. You want the patients that are emotionally tied to being able to eat a steak again. I had a patient that had regular dentures. I will never forget this lady. She was so sweet, and so sweet. She just had dentures, and she would not go for the lower supported denture. And we're like, totally fine, totally fine. She came in like once a month for quote unquote adjustments, because she couldn't eat lettuce. And she brought in a piece of lettuce, and she'd put it in between her teeth and then pull it out. Her need was that she wanted to eat a salad again. And I get that. I ate a lot of salads, I ate a lot of steak. So it became the brand, right, of that specific procedure. And it became one of our brands, like, let us get you healthy in all the ways. But just speaking to what you said, right? So I think something action wise that I have a lot of practices do is, and we do this in multifaceted, um, is building that avatar. We help clients build the avatar of their ideal patient, and then sidestep, I love avatars, building the avatar of your ideal team member. Because within the brand conversation, if you, I like to think of companies who have a really, really easy brand, right? And kind of match up with, I think, what a lot of the dentists that we work with are kind of looking for, their style, right? Everybody says the Ritz-Carlton, but nobody knows what that means anymore. Doctors, please just know your team members don't know what the Ritz-Carlton is or how they show up. So it doesn't work. But brands that do resonate with a lot of team members, and it's easy for a lot of doctors to understand the importance of hiring and emanating the brand that you want. And I think Lululemon is a very easy one, right? Everyone knows, there's not a soul who does not know what Lululemon is. They've done a phenomenal job. When you walk into a Lululemon, same, you could copy and paste that person. I've been to Lululemons all over the country. Sadly, don't tell my boyfriend. I've been to Lululemons all over the country, and you can duplicate the way that they show up, right? They are a brand. They are a piece of that company, and they are showing up that way, right? Dental Aid Team, we run the same way. We are speaking the company culture constantly, and we all show up the same. Chick-fil-A is another one, right? Yeah, great training, but also they're hiring the personalities that fit within their culture that they can train, right? Same with Starbucks, right? All of these different brands who have, and companies who have branded themselves really well, are ensuring that that messaging and that branding is in all of those spaces. And something I see doctors do is really come to the space of like ready to elevate where they're at, but they're not fully ready to innovate in all the different ways. And narrowing those avatars down helps bring light to situations that maybe kind of sitting in the shadows. And I've seen sometimes where it's like maybe our, main check-in gal who's been there forever and she loves the patients that she loves, and she's a great human and she doesn't need to go anywhere, but is she right person, right seat? Is she exuding your brand awareness of like, oh my gosh, we are so excited to see you today, thank you so much for coming to our practice, we love new patients? Or, right, is she like, I really love the patients that I know, welcome, thank you for being here, fantastic human? Again, I'm not saying people need to be let go, I'm saying, do you have them in the seat that's appropriate for them? Or is there maybe a seat that, like, I walked into a practice yesterday, we were consulting, holy amazing find for their check-in girl. And I am telling you right now, I went through this avatar assignment, whatever you want to call it, with them, this exercise. Literally within a week, this girl walked into their office randomly, walked in, said, I don't know if you guys are hiring or not, if you need it. Like, I'm not really looking, but like, are you looking for somebody? She is amazing. Dental experience, beautiful, beautiful girl, so happy, and just is like loving everyone. And she just wants to help everyone to a T. I remember the office manager calling like in tears, Tiffany, you'll never guess what just happened. And it was because they had it, in my opinion, so narrowed down that it walked right in front of their face. Had they not known exactly what their avatar was, they might have been like, oh, it's really weird, right? Like, I'll take your resume, but like, you're cute and all, like, maybe I'll call you. But they were so dialed in on exactly who they wanted at that check-in desk. She walked in and they were like, yep, she's the one. And that, I think, happens with our avatar for our patients too, for marketing. And I think that's our brand awareness. Like, that's how we stay relevant, is knowing how we want to show up, who we want to show up for, and how do we help their needs, and speaking to that from our brand. Lululemon is not here to serve everyone. That's totally fine. I use Lululemon branding as an example in a lot of different ways with a lot of offices. And I've had team members that are like, I'm not spending money on Lululemon. I'm like, you're not their avatar. That's totally fine too, because you're someone else's avatar. You are a different brand's avatar and they need you. So what they've done is they've made it easy for people to say yes or no. And if you're a cosmetic dentist who is branding, right, you've got your brand so wide that you're getting calls for people who only want to do what your insurance is going to cover. That's not your avatar. That is someone else's. Let them have that patient. They are working their tail off for new patients too. Let them have that patient. That's not your avatar, right? And I think we try, Kristy, to bend to what is coming, and we're like, well, we can do that. And we don't hold our boundaries of what we actually want and what our practice needs and what fits us, that we end up confused. And then we get the calls of the doctors that are like, I need systems because it's not working. And not something doesn't work for everyone. Right, Kristy? Do you see where I'm
Yeah.
going with that?
Yep, I sure do. I love where you're identifying, and it's not just the who, but it's the how behaviors too. Like
Yeah.
how will they show up, right? Identifying who is the first step for sure, but then take it one step further and identify the characteristics of how they behave as
Yeah.
well, because then you'll bring that in. Yeah, I love everything you're saying there. I think it's kind of bringing me back. I believe I had this conversation with Kira the other day about um, a doctor wanting to elevate his practice, and should I offer this service? And I'm like, well, have you ever considered taking a poll with your patients to see, are they looking for this type of service?
Hmm.
Yes, it's fine to, I mean, do what you love for sure. But before you get frustrated, go take CE for this course and learn how to, I don't know, do Botox, and none of your patients are wanting it. And then you get frustrated and fizzle out. You know what I mean? Find
Yeah.
out first. And another cool area of that, Tiff, is, have your admin team keep track of how many patients are calling and asking for something that maybe you aren't offering,
That's a
and
great
see if
idea.
see if it's
Yeah.
in your wheelhouse, or is it matching your avatar?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think to speak to that too, if they're calling asking for that and it's not something that fits your avatar or that you want to do, is your branding reflective of your avatar because somehow they found you and they called
Mhm.
you? So, what messaging is out there within your marketing that has attracted the wrong avatar?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it works both ways,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love marketing. I don't know. I truly don't know why I love marketing so much, but it just gets me excited. And the idea of being able to change something and really target in and achieve the result is really cool to me. And the idea of being able to attract someone to something that they need and want by saying things right, by presenting right, like that just gets me so giddy. So thank you for doing this podcast with me
Yeah.
today, is my point.
I was going to say, to your point, you said something very poignant there, that you have to be tracking it. You have to be
Mhm.
paying attention to it, and you have to be willing to test, track, and adjust if
Yeah.
it's not getting the results you want. Too many people start and they throw it out, and then they stop there because they get frustrated that it's not bringing it. And
Yeah.
and it goes back to your innovation. You've got to be able to um, try something different, and it
Yeah.
could be something very minute. A word, right,
Yeah.
could make a big difference.
Yeah, totally agree. I totally agree. And I think that's the most exciting space is what you just said. Like even the one word in this sentence on this marketing, whatever, this ad that's on Google or postcard that somebody's getting, one word can totally change the outcome. And I think that's what gets me excited is like, okay, how can I get the result that I want with the words that I'm using? I love that. And when we can hone in on that, I think massive changes. So I think there's a ton of takeaways here. I think biggest action item, you guys, is really, really figuring out your patient avatar and your team avatar, honestly, your team member avatar, because I think that points you in the direction of your culture, how you want to show up in the world, what your brand is, and then start realizing and understanding that your culture, your core values, that is your brand, that is your brand awareness. And when we live and breathe by those, I think you guys can, anyone who's listening, and has listened before, anyone who's following the Dental A team on Instagram, Facebook, clients of ours, coming to our webinars. We do free CE webinars every month, you guys. Anyone who has experienced Dental A team in the slightest, I think can agree that we emanate the Dental A team. Every team member we have, as far as our virtual assistant, Joash, who we love and adore all the way in the Philippines, he emanates the Dental A team because we understand that those pieces of our company, the mission, the vision, the core values, brand awareness, all of that is who we are. And we live, breathe it, we show up, we believe in it, we stand behind it, and we're consistent. So it makes everything else kind of fall into place really easily. So go do that, you guys. Narrow it in. Don't let it feel so big. Just do one chunk. Like, what is your avatar? Who is your avatar? How do they show up in life? What do they look like? What do they love to do? Narrow in your avatar of your patient and of your team members. Make sure your mission, vision, core values are in alignment with what you actually want. And then take a step back and look at it from bird's eye view of how you need to innovate your brand and how you can do that. And like I said, I love this stuff. The consultants love this stuff. Kristy is fantastic with her clients. She's done this so many times, and all of them have Dana, gosh, Monica, Trish, everybody, every single one of them have done these types of exercises with their clients, and they're really good at it, you guys. So reach out. If you're a client and you need this, you're like, I need to innovate, reach out to your consultant. If you're not yet a client, you're soon to be, or you're just like Tiff, I'm just a podcast listener right now, that's okay too. Reach out, you guys. Hello at thedental We have the resources that you need. We're here to help you. Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find us. And then as always, you guys, leave us a 5-star review below. Let us know how helpful this was. And if there's anything you've done to innovate your brand awareness that you think people could benefit from as well, people really do read those comments, and it could be super beneficial. So Kristy, thank you so much. I love taking the avatar roads with you because I think you're just really good at it and you love people. So really keying in on parts that you love about people's personalities, I think opens you up. So thank you, Kristy, for being here today.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, guys, go do the things. 5-star review, reach out, hello at thedental Follow us on social if you're not there yet, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.